What's up guys, Vital Syntax here, and I've got some Battlefield 4 topics to discuss. Some of these are a week or so old, but they're just things that I haven't covered quite yet, so I'm just kind of doing some catch up. So the first one is in regards to Windows 8 and Battlefield 4. Most PC gamers nowadays are running Windows 7, and there's very little reason to upgrade to Windows 8. In fact, if you're using Windows 7, it's probably better experience, stock by itself than Windows 8, unless you're using a tablet or a touch PC, because a lot of the things that they've implemented are geared towards those type of users. And if you're a keyboard and mouse user, man, that new interface is very, very difficult, and it's kind of a step backwards for keyboard and mouse users. Now, I'm personally using Windows 8, and I thoroughly enjoy it, but I'm essentially using Windows 8 as if it was Windows 7. I have a program called Start is Back that essentially brings the start menu back, and I have completely disabled the entire new user interface that they've added to Windows 8 for the touch interface. So essentially, I'm just using Windows 7, but it's an updated version of Windows 7 because it has all the new features that Windows 8 offers, like faster transfer speeds, faster boot up times, faster shutdown times, as well as DirectX 11.1, which is the latest update to the DirectX pipeline, which is the pipeline that's used by games, by 3D rendering programs to display graphics. It's the same DirectX pipeline that is in the Xbox. That's why it's referred to as an Xbox from DirectX. And the Xbox One is going to be using this same update with 11.1, while Windows 7 currently does not support this newest update. I think there's a very good chance that they will have that update fairly soon available on Windows 7, but by the time Battlefield 4 comes out in a couple of months, you might not be able to have that update on Windows 7. Is it really going to be that big of a deal? Probably not. Battlefield 4 is going to be taking advantage of the new additions that they've updated with this new version. That's going to be slightly improving the CPU performance, which could result in an increase in frame rate. At the most, I'm guessing maybe 1 or 2 frames per second. So honestly, if you're using Windows 7, you're totally happy with Windows 7, you don't want to deal with Windows 8 and the crappy touch interface, then just stick with Windows 7. But if you're a new user and you're building a computer for the first time, maybe for Battlefield 4, or you're looking to upgrade your operating system or have a fresh reinstall, then maybe it's a good time to install Windows 8. Maybe you want to get one of those Start is Back or Start 8, one of those Start replacers for Windows 8, so you can actually use it like you would any other Windows operating system, so you don't have to deal with that crappy touch interface. And that way you can have the advantage of DirectX 11.1, because hopefully other games on other than Battlefield 4 will also take advantage of it. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of a very, very minor thing, but definitely worth discussing. Another thing is custom emblems. Now, we've had custom emblems with Battlelog, with Battlefield 3 for platoons, but in some of the alpha screenshots that people posted on places like Reddit, we can see that people have been able to place those clan emblems or those platoon emblems onto vehicles. So if you have a helicopter or a tank or a Jeep or something like that, and you customize it, you can actually choose not only camouflages for your vehicles now, not just your weapons, you can also put your emblem from your platoon on that vehicle, which is, I think, pretty cool. And I'm also kind of curious, are they going to be able to allow us to customize our soldier? I mean, right now we can customize our soldier camouflage. I wouldn't be surprised if you could put a platoon emblem on your shoulder in like a patch format or something like that. That'd be really cool as well. Maybe even having it able to put on your weapon, but as long as they have limitations, because if it gets to the point where everybody just has dicks and boobs on their guns, on their player, and on their vehicles, then that's going to be kind of obnoxious. And if you look at other games like Call of Duty Black Ops or Black Ops 2 that allowed you to do this, there's some pretty stupid stuff going on, or pretty silly stuff going on with the emblem creators, although I think Battlelog's is fairly limited. They only give you a couple of templates and little icons to move around. You have a set amount of colors and stuff. You can't just go in there and draw with a pen or anything. Alright, so we also had the Battlelog trailer a couple days ago. that showed off some really cool stuff, some new information about Battlelog, some updates and things that they're doing. One of the biggest and coolest things is the in-game access to Battlelog. So now on the PC, you can press backspace to open up Battlelog. That way you don't have to tab out of your game to view things like the next map and next game mode in the server rotation, which is, oh my gosh, it's such a simple and small addition that everybody's been asking for so long with Battlefield. It's so frustrating to have to wait till the round's over and then wait for the map to actually start loading and finish loading before you actually know, oh, I'm going to be loading into this game or map that I don't even want to play. Whereas now you can open up Battlelog in-game by pressing backspace on PC. I'm not sure what the the button will be on the console. I'm guessing it might be select or back or something. And you'll be able to see the map rotation, upcoming maps, upcoming game modes, as well as a bunch of other information. You can see your friends list. You can see what servers your friends are. You can join other servers from that menu. And you can also do these like challenges / what they're calling missions that are essentially user-created challenges. So you could say, out of my friends, who can have the most accuracy with this weapon? Or out of my friends, who can have the highest kill-death ratio with a knife or something like that? I'm sure there'll be limitations. You won't be able to completely choose exactly something that you'd want to challenge your friends to, but there's going to be a lot of variety. I mean, you can set up a little kind of challenge mini game for you and your friends to compete for, as well as obviously having access to leaderboards. And they have this new geo leaderboard, which is essentially a leaderboard based on location. And yes, the location information is optional. You don't have to give your location to people on Battlelog if you don't want to. It's opt in or opt out. But yeah, there's just some really cool updates to Battlelog. Now they also showed battle screens, which is essentially the ability to have a second monitor if you're playing on PC, or to use a tablet, or even I guess a second screen if you're playing with the Xbox 360, or sorry, the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, the PC. The current gen consoles isn't going to support this, which I think is understandable. They're already kind of pushing the limits of that platform. But if you're playing on the next-gen consoles or PC, say, for example, you could be playing on one screen and have the entire screen dedicated to what you're seeing and what you're playing, and then you have a second screen dedicated to the map, dedicated to seeing where your teammates are, where your squad mates are, where your different vehicles are, where your different orders from your commander are, what flags you guys control, what flags you need to defend, attack, and it's going to give you a lot more tactical awareness of the game. And it's just a really cool idea, because a lot of PC gamers at least have 2 screens, 3 screens, or even more. And when you're playing a game, you usually don't want to span them across all 3 of them, because it's going to just destroy your frame rate unless you're playing in something like NVIDIA Surround. But it would be nice to use another monitor or use a tablet or something like that if you have it, to essentially have a map, a really, really big map. That way you can kind of get a better understanding, whereas instead of having that little tiny mini map in the corner. So I thought that was pretty cool. They also showed a screenshot of a new map, and I think there's a good possibility this is the map that they're going to show at Gamescom, because I don't know, I don't think they would have shown it off at all if they didn't have any plans to show it at Gamescom. And I'm guessing they're going to show a new map at Gamescom. That's exactly what they did with Battlefield 3. They had Operation Metro, and then when Gamescom 2011 came around, they showed off Caspian Border. Now, this new map that they showed off in one of the screenshots looks kind of like an indoor snow rush map. It's kind of a similar layout to Dam of Van Peak. Very linear rush map where you're kind of pushing right down the middle of the map. And actually, I don't even know if it was rush. It might have been conquest. It looked like it were just one flag point instead of 2, like A and B bomb sites. So it probably was conquest, but it's still the same linear layout like you have something in Dam of Van Peak, which obviously Dam of Van Peak was an incredibly popular map. It's not my personal favorite. It was a little bit too much of a choke point, especially in higher player count servers like 64 people or 48 servers. But if you're playing 24 people or 32 people, that was actually a really good map, and it had some really cool aspects, especially obviously the base jumping. But anyway, that wraps up the some of the information that I've missed out on over the past couple days with Battlefield 4. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, or by leaving a like or a favorite. I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on all of the information from Gamescom for Battlefield 4, as well as any other new information that comes out over the next couple weeks. So don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.